Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Wednesday evening. Obviously, I know I'm not normally live in an evening. I'm live in the day. But obviously, we have some breaking news surrounding Dejan Kulusevski, and he is out of the Europa League final. I want to be talking about that. I want to talk about some potential good news surrounding Lucas Bergvall maybe returning. So we're talking about that. What do we go about doing for the number 10 role? Hell, what do we go about doing for the Aston Villa game? Going to be talking about some Manchester United injury updates. As much as we've been told that they are the most sort of cursed side in the world when it comes to injuries, they're really very much not that bad actually going into the final. So we're talking about that as well. But we will start with a Dejan Kulusevski flavoured news because it has been announced by the club themselves, who put out a statement saying that we can confirm that Dejan Kulusevski has suffered an injury to his right patella in our Premier League fixture against Crystal Palace last weekend. Following further specialist consultation, the midfielder has undergone surgery today and will commence his rehabilitation with our medical staff immediately. We are all with you, Decky. If I'm honest, do not, for the love of God, send him to the medical team, because they just seem to injure and break all of our players more than we could possibly imagine. Send him to Sweden, send him to the national team, so send him anywhere but the medical team at Tottenham Hotspur, because they are inadequate, in my opinion. They have been all season. They've been super poor. Scott Munn, awful recruitment for that as well. Don't let him go there. We want him fit for the next season. We don't want him injured for the next season. But this is obviously very gutting news. Dejan was going to be really featuring in a massive way coming into the final. He was going to be the number 10. Obviously, Maddison is out and done for the season again. He has himself a pretty decent size injury with his knee as well. So, again, I know some people might try and put this on Ange that he's injuring our players. It's not the case whatsoever. So if you're going to give me that crap, just keep it to yourself. I'm not interested in it. But where do Spurs go from here? Well, there's a few options that Spurs could do. People talked about we should play a back three. And it's like, how about we just not muck around with the back three? I know Spurs fans have this weird fetish for back threes. We haven't played a back three all season, so why would we do it in the biggest game of the year? Okay. They're going to play a back four. I did a video this morning, which if you did miss, please go back and watch the video that I did this morning on the statistics of the main back four and when they've started a game together and how they have performed. And it's mind-boggling how good they are as a four. So let's not try and reinvent the wheel. Let's keep that the same. Now, Bentancur and Bissouma, let's be real, Bentancur and Bissouma are going to be playing in this game. They are now. We just know it. Bentancur is the remaining one player of the main three, be it Maddison Kulusevski or Maddison Bergvall. He is the main guy now left in that midfield, marshalling that midfield and running our midfield. Bissouma, obviously, in the 2 games against Bodo Glimt was fantastic alongside him. That may be a partnership that Spurs go for in the final. But where do they go from that number 10 role? There's a few options they may go with. Now, the first one is Pape Matar. Now, I know that for some people, panic. It's not the best of situations. But again, when you're missing 3 creative midfielders, you're not exactly going to be playing the sexiest of options. I saw some people playing Heung-Min Son. For me, I prefer him still out on the left. I don't think he's not brilliant with his back to players in terms of getting on the ball. At times, when you watch Madders and you watch Kulusevski, their back is to the defender. Let's try and keep Son faced up along against whoever their fullback will be. In my opinion, it will probably be Diogo Dalot. I know you think he's out. Let's talk about that in a minute. You could also go for a Wilson Odobert. Now, that might surprise you because you think of Wilson Odobert as a winger. Wilson Odobert has played like 15 or 16 times as number 10. You can see his quick-footed ability and his ability to get out of tight spaces. That could be some way they go. I don't think they'll go for a Tell or a Richie or anything like that. Now, they may go for a change of formation and go 4-4-2. Which would worry me a little bit, purely because Manchester United play a very, very condensed formation. You know, I know that it will say a 3-4-2-1, but in reality, you've got 2 central midfielders and 2 centre attacking midfielders very close to one another. Do you really want to play 2 central midfielders against that? I don't think that's the way you'd want to go. You want to face up with 3 for sure. So I don't think they'll change formation as such so drastically, but I definitely think I could see maybe Wilson Odegaard as being that option. I think he'll probably go as Sarr because obviously it's central midfielders. He probably trusts him a little bit more. I get that. But Wilson Odegaard, for me, as much as yes, he's a youngster, he at least can play that role. Yes, maybe he's not Maddison in that role or Kulusevski, but he has an ability to play that role. Now, the irony is they could even go for Rodrigo Bentancur in that role. Now, he has played that role for us before. He played against Manchester United in that role and actually he scored in a game against Manchester United last season in a 2-2 draw in that midfield area. So there's also that. For me, I still go with Odegaard. Seems like he would be the most fitting of players to play in that midfield. But let's come on to someone who could maybe give you at least some minutes in that midfield. Lucas Bergvall. Now, we were told a little while ago, Lucas Bergvall, done for the season, gone. The ankle's is 6 weeks. You know, there was always that chatter that, he could be. He could get that minute. You know, he could get back for it. Well, lo and behold, supposedly, from rumoured sources, that Lucas Bergvall has started his own solo training on grass. Now, normally we take precaution now, obviously, because the medical team is so crap. We take so many precautions now with players that we bring them back maybe a week later than we normally would, or 2 weeks later than we normally would. If I'm honest, when it comes to a final, if he says he can play, then he's in the squad for me. I would trust the player over the medical team. The medical team could tell me anything. I wouldn't trust a word that comes out of their mouths. So, yeah, if Lucas can go, Lucas is in the squad for me. He may not start. If I'm honest, I wouldn't even expect him to start. But if he can give you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, then he's in the squad. He comes off the bench, and I'll have a bit of that. I will have a bit of that. So look, there are the midfield options that we've got right now. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm going to read some of the chat. Obviously, chat, if you're watching this, by all means, let me know who you're thinking the number 10 could be. And if it's not the number 10, a change in formation and why. All right. Give me a why. But good evening to you all. I haven't missed any comments. Has Ange criticised the medical team openly before? Yes. If I'm honest, subliminally, yes. Bergvall's back in training. I put Bentancur, then Biss and Sarr as CDM. So Paul would move Bentancur into what I was saying, the number 10 role, and then Biss and Sarr playing as sort of the Biss Bentancur role. Potentially. Would I play a 4-4 to use Son as striker? I would still keep Son out wide. I'm not having Son as a striker. If I've got Richie and Solanke, then I might as well just use those two as strikers if I was going to do that. But no, for me, I would still keep Sonny out left. Again, my whole thinking with Sonny is he's good moving towards the other goal instead of coming towards our goal with the ball. So that's kind of my thinking on that side of things. Could you tell as a 10? Again, if we're using any Frenchman as a 10, it would be Odegaard Vittel for me. Kulu's injury is really on Ange. I really understand his minutes. I really do, but it's his third consecutive start and not only 10. Yeah, but Bob, he needed the minutes. Like, he needed to get going. He needed to get off that rust. To put a contact injury down on Ange, I completely wholeheartedly disagree, mate, if I'm honest. Ange can't, if a player hurt himself at home getting out the shower, would you, no one blame that on Ange. If a player got himself hurt putting on his boots to go out into training, no one put that on Ange because it's not his doing, right? And Ange has been probably more cautious with our midfielders since the debacle of all those injuries and didn't rush players back when we should have probably rushed them back. You probably could have found a situation where players could have come back 2 weeks earlier than they did at points this season, but he didn't because if I'm honest, I don't think he trusts the medical team. If they say he can play at this point, Ange goes, right, add 2 weeks onto that, and that's when he can play. I wouldn't trust the medical team as far as I could throw them, to be honest. Gray's not ready for the game. Adrian Phillip, how are you? No, I don't put Brennan in the centre attacking mid. Brennan is an elite back post winger. Keep him in the elite position that he is. Odegaard is, if you're picking Odegaard or Jono to play in the centre, it won't be Jono, it'll be Odegaard. every time. I think Pape's better than the minutes he gets. Like how often he has come on and scored a goal. Yeah, I mean, look, I like Pape. I'm one of Pape's biggest fans. The issue is you're very much playing three players that are exactly alike in the midfield. And is that the way you go? Now, look, you might be a bit more defensively solid, but you probably are going to lack a little bit going forward. You're going to pray for counter attacks or, Son to beat his man when when he's got a double up on him or something like that, or you're praying Destiny or Porro's going to fly forward. That's why I like Odegaard there, because he'll beat a man in the midfield. And if he beats that man in the midfield, he's running at Harry Maguire. Now, I watched Steven Bergvall run at Harry Maguire, and he's not as quick as Wilson Odegaard, is all I'm going to say. But look, let's sort of see. Nah, Philip, I'm not a back three, back five guy. We haven't played it all season. It's not the time to start mucking around with it now. But look, we'll sort of see. Jazz wants to talk about Man United injuries. Let's talk about the Man United injuries. So Ruben Amorim today has said he doesn't know whether Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, Matthias Ligt or Diogo Dalot will play in the Europa League final, but they are all trying. Well, we found some more. Lenny Yoro was in the gym this morning doing his own fitness work. Looks like the injury isn't as bad as first feared. And Diogo Dalot was doing individual training session at Carrington as well. So obviously we've been told that all of their Man United players that are injured are basically dead. By the sounds of things, if I'm honest, I expect either De Ligt or Yoro to be back, and I do expect Diogo Dalot to be back for the final. So in that case, the back five would be Dorgu, Maguire, Mazraoui, and De Ligt or Yoro, and then Dalot is the right wing back, which has kind of been their back five for a large part of this season. So, maybe you're missing Martinez, but for the most part, that's probably been their most usable defense. The rest of their team is healthy, by the way. That you have been led on by the media to say that Manchester United have the worst injury crisis in all of football ever. Well, last time I looked, they've got a £70 million striker fit up front. Their number 10 and captain and their best players fit. Mason Mount's back from injury and fit and scoring. Eriksen's still there. Casemiro's fit. Ugarte's fit. Diallo's just come back from injury. Garnacho's still fit. Like, do I need to go on and on and on? Mainu's back as well. Like, they've got options. Don't listen to the media and believe that the whole thing is Manchester United have no fit players. Okay, they're missing Joshua Zirkzee. Is he better than Højlund? Maybe a little bit, but there's not a lot in it. It's not like us going from Solanke to like a Dane Scarlett. So I don't really buy into the media agenda, the media-driven ideas that Spurs have no injuries, Man United have them all. Spurs have no injuries, Man United have them all. Like, if we want to go that way, like, you've been out Lisandro Martinez for months now. So have we with Radu Dragic. Now, Lisandro is probably better for them than Radu is for us. I get that. But you're also playing three centre-backs every single game. If you play two centre-backs every single game, then only having one De Ligt or Yoro out, it wouldn't be a big deal. You'd still have the other one. Last time I checked, their midfield is completely fit. Their attack is completely fit. Other than Zirkzee, their attack is completely fit, as you could hope for. Well, looking at us, Heung-Min Son isn't 100% fit. Kulusevski, Madison, Bergvall. I don't know about you, but that sounds like there's a few injuries there. Oh, Radu Dragic, don't forget. Oh, don't forget, I want to talk about Radu Dragic. That's another one injured. So Spurs are missing 4 players. Manchester United will miss Zirkzee. Let's say either De Ligt or Yoro. And who else? Martinez? Okay, 3. Cheers. Great. Like, I don't believe and I don't buy into the media. Like I said to you, most pundits are ex-Man United or they're Man United fans. Hence why they will put out there that Man United are the underdogs. Man United are the underdogs. Look at all the injuries. Man United aren't the underdogs. Man United are the favourites to win this, by the way. Most recently won a trophy. European pedigree. The injuries? Really? If Dalot and Yoro or De Ligt is back, I don't want to hear about injuries from them. I don't. Spurs would have more if they get back, by the way. So I don't want to hear about that. That'd be absolute crap and nonsense. They're putting it out there purely because if they were to lose this game, they want to get an excuse in. But they won't give the excuse to Spurs because obviously we're Spurs. That's not how it works for us. We don't get sympathy. Man United, their striker could sneeze and get a cold, and the media would make it out that, oh my God, he's out for months. This is awful. The world should stop. Football should stop until he's back fit. That's what you're getting from the media right now. It's really lazy journalism. It's the agenda-driven biasness that you get fed daily. Just crap on crap on crap. It's pathetic. When I look at it and I say that Dallow's back in individual training, and so is Lenny Yoro, and Bergvall is for us. So they get 2 back, we get 1 back. And they get their starting right wing back and their starting centre back and their best centre back this season. It's just lazy. You'll listen to Man United fans that would tell you, no, we've got too many injuries. We're hard done by. Look after us. Okay. Okay. Interesting. But for me, I still think we win the final, by the way. I still think we win the final with or without Kulu. If Bergvall can give you some minutes, that'd be phenomenal. That'll be phenomenal. I've watched Lucas Bergvall against this Manchester United side have way too much success, And the other reason, by the way, that I did bring in the Wilson Odobert chat about Wilson playing 10. I don't know if he will. I think Ange will go for Sarr, by the way. But the reason I bring in the Wilson Odobert chat, Casemiro hasn't got the legs. He hasn't. He's slow. He doesn't get around the pitch very well. Well, so why don't you stick the tricky sort of attacker on him and make him run around after him? Because he'll foul him. He'll pick up stupid fouls and he'll win. He'll pick up a booking, and you never know. You might get him for that other color of the card. I'm just saying, if Wilson can go at 10, I think you go at 10 with him. I also want to talk about Aston Villa really quickly. I am now of the mindset of you do not play anyone on Friday that has any reason to play minutes. Like I'm playing Ben Davies and Archie Gray and Danso. I'm playing Kinski. I'm playing, play Spence even. Play Mikey Moore, play Dane Scarlett or whoever the backup striker you want to play, you play them. I know Scarlett's injured, but if Lancashire's back, play Lancashire. Hell, any of the 16, 17-year-olds that are looking really exciting through the youth academy, screw it, play them. Play in the midfield. Like, if Odobert played in the midfield, he'd get injured somehow. You just know it. Like, we have no luck. So right now, like Ange jokes, I'm trying to wrap him up in cotton wool. Like beyond that, wrap him up in cotton wool, stick him in like a mummy coffin, and just lock him up in there. Like, do not let them out of your sight. Do not leave that building. Put only very soft furniture in the rooms, and don't have any sharp edges. Don't have any table legs. They might stub their toe. Genuinely, just stick a PlayStation in their room and a treadmill for them to walk on. I don't want to see like any starter that would get any real credible minutes in the final. I don't want to see any of them on Friday. And you might get pumped 5-0 by Aston Villa, and I do not care. Play the under-18s, play the under-17s. Play Mikey. Like Mikey, get minutes. Why not? If Lancashire's there, play Lancashire. Hell, if you can get anyone else in there that's been out on loan to play, you play them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see any of them. I just don't. Like, you already know like 4 of those youngsters will get injured as well anyway, let's be honest, because that's what Spurs do. We just seem to pick up injuries here, there, and everywhere. So, that's my thinking. If we can win with Forster in goal and Gray in defence, then I'm confident. You see us winning 3-2. I believe Kinski, I think Kinski will start. Just look at the attitude between the two managers. Amram sees a lot more negative, Ange more positive. I think Ange just recognises his situation. Like, I've got injuries, just got to get on with it. Whereas other managers go, I need sympathy, guys. I've got one player out injured. I need sympathy. Whereas Ange goes, I've got 12 players out. We just got to get on with it. Oh, one of my players has got a splinter. Oh, please give us some. Why are we so unlucky? Why does it happen? Why does bad things happen to good people? That's the kind of attitude you get from other managers. And maybe Ange should be more like that because then the media might give us some more sympathy. But that's just not Ange's game. Ange's like a normal bloke, who understands the world doesn't revolve around his arse. So there is that. But yeah, so to give you an idea, Lucas Bergvall is working his backside off to make the final. If he could. If Lucas can, that's huge. That is huge. Like I said, Man United are getting loads of their players back fit for the final. We're losing players. It could be nice if we can get at least one person back. We've lost Madders. We lost Kulu, the starting number 10s. We lost our starting number 8. If we can get at least the number 8 back, it just gives you an option. Like I'm not expecting him to play 90 minutes, but if it's 20 minutes, like that could be the difference on Wednesday. Like it's a week today, you know, it's nearly a week. We're an hour and 40 minutes over the top of it, but it would be massive. And he would look if he was fit, he would start. Right. He would start as 10. And it wouldn't be a conversation around does Odegaard play there? Do they change the formation? Do they do all those things? But because he's not going to be able to give you 60 plus minutes, he's better off being off the bench. I don't know if Son's going to give you those big minutes either. I don't. But unfortunately, we've got one arm tied behind our back when it comes to the midfield. We got to kind of just get a bit creative, I think. Andrew's probably going to want to play Saar, Basuma, and Bentancur, which we know doesn't work, by the way. We've seen it so many times. It doesn't work. But he'll want to play them. He'll want to keep it tight at 0-0. And then he wants to unleash Son and unleash, a Bergvall maybe, or pray that Porro whips in an unbelievable ball into Slanky or a set piece. Because Man United are susceptible at set pieces. You can get them. You can get them from crosses. We did a whole video breaking down every single goal they've conceded in the Europa League and against Tottenham this season. And crosses are a huge issue for them. Crosses, low driven as well, huge. So when I talk about Johnson, he's going to be massive, Johnson, because those low driven, his movement is exceptional. And as much as you like Johnson or you hate Johnson, we can all agree his movement in the box is unbelievable. He will get on the end of a few of these, and I think he will score in the final. I do think Johnson will score in the final, by the way, just because everything I've seen is gearing up to suit his game. And he's going to need to have that, So we'll sort of see. Bergvall winner, we will be there. Yeah, look, but again, it's that thinking is, he might not be. He might not be back. Like, we also have to broach the idea of he might not be back. He is trying really hard. He's working. Oh, Real Madrid have sent a contract proposal for Dean Huijsen. Very nice. Good for them. Dean Huijsen must be going on a free because Real Madrid don't like spending any money on players. I've lost my train of thought, to be honest. But yeah, Bergvall, if he can't go, then we are limited on options. That's why I'm saying Odegaard is going to be Odegaard at some point might be playing central. Just genuinely, what am I thinking? Would I experiment on Friday? Try a different number 10? Mate, honestly, youngsters. Youngsters and the very much big rotation of options. Ange won't do that. Ange is probably going to play, Biss 45 minutes, Saar 45 minutes, that sort of thing. I would just go, look, we're going to lose this game because we were going to lose the game, in my opinion, anyway, because we were going to rotate heavily. Players were going to play maybe 45 minutes or half an hour. For me, I'm playing the youngsters. Mikey Moore can get 90 minutes. Okay. Kinski, get yourself 90 minutes. Big Kev Dancer and Davies and Archie Gray. Get yourselves 90 minutes. Jed Spence, 90 minutes. I look at, Kulusevski, Ajayi. Just trying to think who else. He might give Son some minutes, though, thinking about it. He might give Son some minutes, even if it's 45 minutes from the off. just purely to get him some minutes. Because if he gets minutes and he's okay, that might change a huge situation in the final. But yeah, any midfielder that's in those youth setups, we will see you Friday night. You know, Royal Tottenham control the game by having Dancer. Look, the way you're going to control the game with Dancer is Dancer coming off the bench, and Dancer coming off the bench for the last 15, 10 minutes, something like that, and you see it out. But you wouldn't. I don't think going 5 back for 5 back with them makes any sense when they've been doing it for months and we haven't done it. You know. Would he play Odegaard in the 10 for the first time in the final? He might be running out of options. It's not his first time playing the 10. He has played the 10 for Burnley last season. And he played a good amount of games as well, sort of like 15, 16 games, something like that. I might have to actually have a little look tonight. I've got an interview to prepare for tomorrow, but I might have to have a look at Odegaard's games last season where he did play the 10 and how he got on. Get an idea for it. He said, "How are you?" I have something about Decky. Yeah. Imagine it with our B team prospects being lit starting live. Oh, we'll be there. We'll be there. Can tell players a 10. I'd probably say less so than an Odegaard. Shane Gray hasn't played more in the midfield. Ironically, it wouldn't really fix much. That's the thing, because Gray is just, another one of those midfielders that we've got already in Saar, Basuma, and Bentancur. If he was more like even a Jamie Donnelly-esque style player, that'd be great. And then we'd go, yeah, fine. But unfortunately, he's kind of similar to what we already have. So it wouldn't really fix anything as such. Like I said, if Bergvall was fit, he's starting at number 10. We don't have to have this crisis chat. Bentancur, Basuma, and Bergvall would be in midfield 3. We've seen Bergvall against Manchester United. He's had a ton of success. He was brilliant against Man United this season. But unfortunately, you somehow are missing the 3 creative midfielders you could possibly get, which is hilarious. It's impressive. It shows that we are screwed when it comes to luck. But yeah, we'll sort of see. Mikey Moore is number 10. No, I'd still go Odegaard over Mikey as a 10. Odegaard has more proper men's football experience as a 10. I would go tell Odegaard and Johnson in a position to start the game. In what positions? If you're talking in the attack, you may see Tell and Johnson, but you won't see Odegaard because Solanke will be up through the centre. They might play Richie. I don't know if they would, though. I've got a feeling they probably want... Right, here's the thing as well, right? Let's talk about the left wing position. Let's say, right, Bergvall can't start the game. So your midfield, let's say your midfield 3 was Pape, Biss, and Bentancur, okay? Let's talk a hypothetical game. There's no way on earth I think they go for Richie at left wing when we need creativity from the left wing. Hence why Tell would start for me. Because Tell can whip in across. Tell can beat a man. Tell's good with the ball, His link up with a doggy is very, very solid as well. So I think that's the way they would go. You would need some form of creativity in the attack because Jono's not going to give you the creativity you want. He's more of the finisher of a move. The left wing has always been the creative side. The right wing has always been the finishing side when it comes to the wingers. You're going to be relying massively on Pedro Porro, by the way. You're going to be relying massively on Pedro Porro. Like, he is going to need to drop an all-timer in terms of his set-piece distribution because he's going to be on set pieces. He's going to be needed to whip crosses into the box. Like I said, we did the video. I'm not going through it again. If you've missed it, go back and watch it. You'd know what I was talking about. He's going to be needed for his ability to get balls into the box. And then you're going to be relying on Destiny Doggy to play his normal football that he does against Manchester United every single time. He locks up the winger or whoever's in front of him, be it Garnacho or whoever is in front of him, and he gets forward and he has to contribute. And recently, when we've watched Destiny in those games against Frankfurt and against Bodo Glimt, he got forward, contributed, and created. And we looked a mile better team because of it. So I think you go Tell and you go Destiny. And then let's say around the 60th minute, if you think it's not really working with Tell, that's when you go Son. Now, if Son can give you 60 proper solid minutes to start, then obviously you go 60 with Son. But he's played 30. He played 35 minutes last weekend. He could give you 60, I think. Just naturally training a bit more. It'd be 10 days after the the game against Palace. He would give you 60. Now, I think Son might start. And then you go Tell off the bench. Now, is that the way we should go? It really matters on Sonny and his sharpness. If Son's sharp and he can give you 60, you start Son. Tell off Odegaard and 10. Johnson, all right, Big Dom leading line. Yeah, he said, I'd probably say it's probably about right. Callum, how are you, my friends? You can't risk Richie as you might need cover for Solanke. Interesting, Jazz. Porro needs to come prime Roberto Carlos mixed with Cafu of a performance. He's going to need to drop a great performance. By the way, Pedro Porro does not see the field against Aston Villa. Not even on the bench. Leave him in London. Send him to Bilbao now, actually. Just send him to Bilbao now. Go on, off you go. We'll meet you out there. Like, he is going to be vital in this game. Now, whoever's going to play on the left for him, is it Bruno or not? You know, Bruno's going to have to be probably tracking back and having to, you know, follow Pedro at times. That's good as well. You pull in their most creative player further away from our goal, you know. Tell set piece is not bad. Better delivery than Son this season. Yeah, well, he was. I mean, the reason why Romero won that corner for the first goal against Bodo Glimt was Tell. That was his ball in. Start Son, bring on Tell. Yeah, I think, look, with Son, if he is sharp enough to give you 60, you just have to do it. You know, if he's not, then you don't, for me, and you go Tell. But if he is sharp enough to give you 60, he goes 60. You bring on Tell for the last half an hour, you know, against and look, as much as I think Dalot will be back for the final, Dalot won't be 100% fit though. Like, he wouldn't have had many minutes to get himself going again. He's missed some time with that calf injury. Then you could bring Tell on and a doggy and their explosiveness, you know, in terms of sprinting at him. Sonny as well, test the calf out, see if he can withstand it. You know, you got Mazraoui, he's a very solid defender. But if you've got overloads on him, how's he going to cope? And that's the other thing when we think about the 10 role, by the way. With their wing back, there's no way they pick Diallo as right wing back, surely. There's no way they do that. I think they might start Diallo. Fernandez, and Højlund. Because if they start him at fullback, wing back, he might really struggle. Just the way we get forward with our fullbacks, you kind of want someone who's like Dallo, a bit more switched on defensively. Might offer you a little bit less going forward, but the idea for them in Manchester United is get the ball to Bruno, let him create. You know? There's a hair in my mouth. That's disgusting. So what I'm thinking with the 10 role is, if you've got, let's say, Sonny, and you've got Destiny, they obviously play the back three, a wing back, and a central midfielder. They like to try and cram those areas. You're going to need someone that can get on the ball and be a bit, you know, agile and tricky. Wilson Odegaard screams that right now. He just screams it, you know. Well, let's hope no one injures our players. We could do with having a bit of luck for once. Milton, how are you? Just talking Kulu's injury. Bergvall may be returning. Man United's injuries. Phil starts Friday and play 44. Anyone starting Friday? Because there might be a few starters. Just putting it out there. They are playing 45 max. Or they're coming off the bench for the last half an hour. There's no way in God's green earth a starter's playing 60 minutes for a European final when we're already down multiple players. Like, like for me right now, I'm looking at Mickey Van Ven and Romero going, you boys aren't touching that effing pitch. I can't risk that back four. I don't want to see any of them play. I don't want to see any of them play against Aston Villa. I don't want them to be on the bench. I don't want them to be in Birmingham. I want them to be in London. Hell, I want them to be in Bilbao already, in the sun, watching it on TV. Because I genuinely think the big chance that we've got to win this game is the fact that that back four, well, I did a video on this morning. I released it this morning. Go back and watch it, okay? It's like 8 minutes long. It's a good video, all right? I explain why that back four is so good. You play that, and you'll understand why I think having that back four and having them fit could be the real game changer going into this final. Ange at the 10, I think he's got the legs to press. Owen, I think I'm playing at the 10 at some point. I'm probably going to give you 2 minutes before my hamstrings absolutely implode, but it's going to be the best 2 minutes for crunching someone. Ajax putting out that monstrosity of a two-legged affair. Interesting. Brave of them. Please don't play Bence Corsart. God help us if he goes this with this midfield three. Well, the problem is, Soul Sniper, like, he's limited. Like, we're not going to play a back five. Playing a back five genuinely will make no sense for us. It's actually one of the worst ways you can go about this game, playing a back five, right? So, back three, back fives, forget about it. He's going to play Bentancur and Bissouma regardless. They're playing. I always thought they were going to anyway, regardless of the Kulu situation. Hell, if Madison was fit and Kulu wasn't 100%, I still expect those two to play because I thought they were brilliant in the two games against Bodo. The issue is you're limited. In reality, you've got, in my opinion, two options, which is Sarr and Odebear, unless you're completely changing the formation, which I don't really want to see like a 4-4-2. I just think you're going to be overloaded in the midfield areas. They'll pick you apart. And will he go for 2 number 8s and a 6? I'm speaking aloud, obviously. I'm not saying this is what he will do. I'm thinking aloud. He could go for 2 number 8s and a 6, be steady and solid for 60 minutes. And then, let's say Son doesn't start. You bring Son on. You bring on some different players just to open up the game a bit more. Pounce on Man United, maybe a few weary legs. Test out a few players that maybe, aren't 100%. Like, I don't know if Dallow's going to give you 90 solid minutes. Like, he might start, but I don't know if he's going to give you 90 solid minutes. I think you'll be able to get him at some point through that game, especially when you look at our left wing options. We have depth there at the moment. Now, famous last words, all of our left wing options are going to injure themselves in the next 30 seconds, but I think that's where you could go. And then obviously you still got Slanky, you still got Richie, you got Jono, like you still got attacking options up there. It's just the midfield. Your defense is solid as a bean. Like, I know Radu's out injured and done for the season, but your defense is as solid as you could hope for in terms of injury-wise. It's the attack is solid as you could hope for. I know Kulu you could factor in, but I'm factoring Kulu as a midfielder in this because he was always going to be in a midfielder because of the Madison situation. You're definitely going to be down 2 midfielders, right? The 2 number 10s, you're down them categorically, factually down both of them. Bergvall being one of the 8s, he may make it back. There is a chance. It isn't ruled out. It's an unlikely chance, but to be honest, I thought it was unlikely that Kulu would miss the final. So now I'm thinking, you might as well. Archie's not ready for it. No. What about Sonny in 10? No, Sonny is good for me out wide where he can pick the ball up and face defenders. His back to defenders isn't great. So it's one of the options that he might consider, absolutely. Like, you have to, but no, I think he's better out wide, or he's better as a striker running in behind. And I actually think there's going to be an opportunity for him to run in behind this team. Yeah, we noticed it. The long ball works against Man United. It does. Yeah, they've got some tall centre-backs, but they've also got some quite clumsy centre-backs at times. And I think someone smart like Slanky, even just winning fouls and things like that, you'll get that opportunity. So I'm interested to know what you guys think. Please let me know your number 10 and where you would go with it. please have the mindset of all Kulu, Matters, and Bergvall are out. Have that mindset so that at least we'll have a bit of a chat about, well, does he go Sar? Does he go Odebear? Does he go Tell? Sonny? Who's he go for? You know what I mean? Terry, how are you, my friend? I'm good. Thank you for asking. They're quite slow as well. Plus, Yoro's out. Well, look, we don't know if Yoro's out injured, Joshua. You may have joined after I gave his update. Quickly, I will go through the update on the players for Man United. Dalot has restarted individual training. Yoro has restarted individual gym training. I'd expect both of them to be fit. Will they be 100% fit? Probably Yoro. Yoro will be close to 100% fit. Dalot, not as much. Dalot's obviously he'll have missed more football. Yoro got injured last Sunday. So Yoro's match fitness should be there. Dalot's won't be because he'd have missed about a month to 6 weeks, something like that. So he won't be 100%. And I think you can get at that. Rek, how are you? Only one of our second choice centre backs. What I'd start at Bilbao's don't say. Well, it doesn't matter. You start the two main centre backs, and you don't have to worry. Not a 3-5-2, Terry. No. Biss, Bentancur double for the. Yeah, look, Callum, I think I agree with you. I'm going Biss, Bentancur, and I would go Odebear. You've got some time, even if it's in training, you've got some time to work on the number 10 role. At least you're not having to think for Aston Villa at the weekend, like, oh, we've got to play him on Friday, they've got to play him on Friday and get him some minutes. You've at least got some training time now between, you've got, just under a week, because obviously you're not going to be training on a Wednesday next week, but you can have some time to work on, Odebear, if he was going to play centrally. Ange will probably try a few different players out in training at centrally and just see who works and who doesn't work. And that's why I'm thinking we sit here and say Odebear because he's got the most experience playing the 10 role out of everyone in the squad who's left fit. But does Ange see it? Ange might look at training and go, God, he stank. He stank at 10. Let's not do that. We're going to have to go for Sar, and that's what I'm thinking. I've seen a midfield when we've beaten United. Bassoon was involved in all of them, I believe. Couldn't tell you. You got Google, Joshua. You have a look. You tell me. I don't see Sar as 10. No, I'm not. Like, everyone needs to understand this. When I say, what is he going to do at the 10 role? If I say Pape, I'm not saying Pape's the 10. I'm saying Pape will be an 8, and we'll play 2 8s and a 6. We will try, if they go that route, we'll try to stay compact. We won't give the game away. And then we go for it for the last half an hour where you start to bring on maybe some more expansive players. That's my thinking. I'm not saying Sar's a 10. He's not. I know he's not. All right, don't worry. I think Tell left wing, Slanky 9, Brennan right wing, Odebear 10. Yeah, look, JMP. By the way, evening, JMP. How are you, mate? It's so difficult, really. It is. It's so difficult. It's not like you're down left wingers and you go put Richie out there. I know he's not technically a left winger by trade anymore. He's a striker, but play him out there. It's not. You're putting squares into circle holes. You know what I mean? Even MS, how are you? Injury, not an Ange. No, it's not an Ange. Don't worry. I agree, William. Tell could probably be a decent false 9. Yeah, I don't know. I just really don't know. The issue is I really, really don't know. It's really hard to work out. The beauty is we got a little bit of time. It's not like the game is in 2 days. We've got a little bit of time. Oliver still needs a minute. He might, yeah, maybe. Be our luck if he gets injured. Odebest, I've done that. Biss plays 10 for Marley. He does play for Marley at 10, but I don't trust Pape as far back as where Biss was for those 2 games. Biss worked next to Bentancur in those 2 games against Bodo. I'm not sure Pape would work as well. That's my thinking on that. More of a Turbo. Is Turbo Timo fit for Villa? I will Turbo Timo, I will see you Friday night. I will watch that game and I will be there for the hat trick from Turbo Timo on Friday night. I will be there. Regulon, yeah, Regulon. Play him at left back. Yeah, play Regulon at left back. Play Spence at right back. Danso and Davies. There you go. There's your back four. And if Regulon scores a hat trick, I'll be bloody happy. I'm not his biggest fan, obviously, but I'll be bloody happy. There's so many young options that you can play, and I would play them all. True, Callum. Sonny has been utter rubbish this season. Oh, God. Just really quickly, because I know people say that Son's been rubbish this season, right? This is going to make you laugh, right? Because obviously he's been dealing with some injuries this year and playing through them, which obviously no one really wants to admit it because it doesn't really work for why he might be deemed rubbish. 23 goal contributions this season. He has 17 in the Premier League alone in 29 games. God, if he's been utter rubbish, then 99.9% of the Premier League stinks. Absolutely. Holmes. Forward needs to step up and hit the... Well, yeah, true. We saw Paul Pape worked in the past game and having Bentancur who's playing as a 10 run all the way back to be a number 6. We will be there. We'll be there for the Rodrigo Bentancur masterclass. Yeah, Jazz, the reason why the false 9 worked with Kulu playing there was because you had no striker. You have Solanke, you have Richarlison. They're not going to play a false 9 if they have a striker. Because, by the way, everyone realizes what a false 9 is, right? It's a more advanced number 6. It's basically a shadow striker, like a 9.5. That's really what it is. You're still a high line attacker, higher than what Maddison plays or Kulu plays when he plays in the midfield. So the false 9 doesn't work if you play a striker. I will be real, guys. I don't know if that blows anyone's mind. Great backline. Spurs' backline is fantastic, but that backline against Aston Villa. I'm hooning at that thought. Sergio Reguilon masterclass down the left wing, anyone? We haven't seen it in about 5 years, so we might as well get it now. Send him off on a high. Hell, if he plays well, you can play against Brighton as well as a treat. How about that? Son as 10 will. I don't think Son as 10 will work, personally. I think he might play Son then, weirdly, but I don't think he will. What an announcement if Werner scores. But if Werner scores a hat-trick, right? If Werner scores a hat-trick Friday night, I will fetch one of the bottles of rum that I'm looking at to my left over there. Rum. R-U-M. I will pour myself a shot of rum and I will shot it on video. All right. He's not scoring that hat trick. I don't even know if he's going to play, but we'll have a fun bet of it. I feel like Kulusevski's going to score and boss the game. Look, that back four is going to have to be magnificent. Factually, they have to be their usual magnificent selves. I think Bentancur is going to have a monster game as well. The Bentancur we've seen like international break onwards, that Bentancur. We've got a run of games where he's been magnificent. And let's be real. Let's talk about this. Pedro Porro and Bentancur played 45 minutes, was it, on Monday night? Sunday. They played 45 minutes. You won't see them now until the final. So they're going to have 10 days rest going into the final, playing only 45 minutes. What did I say? What did I say about Pedro Porro when he played 45 minutes against... He might have been played a little bit long. He might have played longer against Forest. And he had about 10 days rest leading into the Bodo Glimt first leg. What did I say? I said he probably gets a goal or assist. And Pedro Porro was absolutely incredible in that first leg. He gets the ball for the first goal, whipped into Richie, who heads it back across to Johnson. So he gets the ball to the assist. He then gets the assist for the Maddison goal. And he was brilliant defensively, brilliant with the ball. Okay, I'll say it now. We're on for Pedro Porro to have a great game in the final. Definitely, I think so. I've got some faith. I got some faith in it. And I will also have a haircut before the final because this is something else. Something else. But we'll see. Customer service Timo would put himself in contention with a hat trick. Oh, Turbo Timo, how can I help? If you've been watching the career mode, you know. Although I do think Odegaard is the best option here. However, I think he goes with Salah. Yeah, look, Sonny, I actually agree with you. I think Odegaard is the most suitable option. And look, we're not at training, right? We haven't been at training for the last few days. You got to think we've trained with Kulu being injured and us not knowing the situation, right? We've seen, you think we played Sunday, they've done recovery Monday, they trained yesterday. So we've already started working without Kulu and Madison and Bergvall. So Ange might have, used Solanke as a 10, for example, and it worked. And Ange has gone, oh, have I found something here? He might have used Richie at the 10 and gone, oh, I might have found something here. He might have used Sonny and all that stuff. He might have tried something already. He might have already sort of ruled things out and seen things that he likes. And then in turn, he's taking that through the rest of the week and developing it. So come next Wednesday, it might be Pape as a number 8. I'm just saying, it might be Pape. It could be Odegaard. It could be Mikey Moore. It could be you or me. I don't know if we're qualified for the Europa League squads, but maybe because we're homegrown, we could be. So I'm just saying, we won't see training, so we might not see anything. We might not know anything. Ange might have an ace up his sleeve. Man United right now are going, they've got no number 10. And Ange has gone, mate. And he just whips out something incredible, You need to go watch your Man United analysis video. Please do. There's a couple of really good videos that I did on Manchester United. The goals they conceded. I did the goals that we conceded in the Europa League. The goals they conceded against us. The goal they scored against us. I know they scored 3 in that one game, but 2 of them was Fraser Forster scoring it for them. The one goal they did score, I gave analysis on that. So please go check them out because you learn a lot about what they're about defensively when it comes to them defending. And also, I'm not, they play a lot of starters in those games as well. So it's not like they're playing a bunch of 18-year-olds and they're conceding goals. They're playing Maguires and Mazraouis and Delicts and Yoros and things like that. So there's that. But also, check out the video they did this morning. If you've missed it, I'm going to repeat it again, and I don't care that it's self-publication. Go and check out my video from this morning, where I basically analysed the Spurs back 4. And are they any good? Are they any good? And they're absolutely unreal. And go and check it out and you'll see why. Ben Squad presuming to pull out what they've played against Bodo. We will be there. MS, mate, I will do that shot. Hell, if he scores a hat-trick, I'll do 2 shots. There you go. Double me up and hold me to that, MS. I know you will. United fans are more optimistic now that Kulu looks like he's at the final. Still time. There's still time. And if my boy Lucas Bergvall is fit, I watched that kid from Sweden destroy Man United this season. Casemiro has nightmares of Lucas Bergvall. Nightmares about Lucas Bergvall this season. The brother runs in mud while Bergvall looks like he's got skates on. Call him Timmy Wiener, God's sake. And I just seen someone go, Timmy! Wow! Oh, God. Simon, how are you? Worth trying to get Donnelly back for this? No, I think anyone on loan won't be able to come back and play. God, if Donnelly was fit, Jesus, if Donnelly was here, Donnelly would probably play. Donnelly would probably play, wouldn't he? Good point, actually. Really quickly, just Spurs side for a second. Just going to pause it for 1 second. No, team news doesn't come out. They start at 8. Leyton Orient play tonight against Stockport in the playoffs. Team news is not out yet. Team news will be out in 6 minutes. I really hope, really hope that Leyton Orient win, by the way, for Keeley and Donnelly. By the way, Keeley got himself a international call-up to the Republic of Ireland squad. So congratulations, Josh Keeley. More than deserved. It looks like he's going to be a rock star as a keeper. The book's open to will get crocked versus Villa. What odds are you giving me, Phil? What odds? How much can I put on and what odds are you giving me? They think they go 4-4-2. Look, 4-4-2 is on the table. It is. It is. But I also have this mindset of keep Johnson far forward because he's going to get an opportunity or two. He's going to get an opportunity or two in that game. Keep him there. Keep him running at that back post. Like I said, you can hate Johnson on the ball. You can love him on the ball. One thing we can all agree on is attacking movement in the box is elite. And I can't stress how elite it is. He will get an opportunity or two. And I think he will score. I think he will score. Can't wait to watch your analysis, mate. Yeah, look, Man United preview will be Monday, obviously. We know that. Aston Villa preview will be out tomorrow at some point. I don't know. I've got an interview at 12:30. So maybe right after that, maybe at 1 o'clock, something like that, I might do it. I don't know. We'll sort of see. Interview can wait. I'm more focused on Aston Villa. Call me Ange. I'm more focused on Villa than Man United. I keep getting hit by waves of anxiety at this game. Then I tell myself, with a better team, we're going to smash them. United got Euro and Delict out. Look, I don't know what's going on with Delict. I tried to do a bit of research into Delict's situation. I'll do a quick little bit here. Right, Manchester United Evening News, 7 hours ago, about lunchtime, put out an article. They were Delict wasn't a part of the group that was training today. Neither was Yoro, but we know Yoro was doing gym work. He said, Amorim said the defender's issue was not a big issue, but ruled him out of the Bilbao game and then West Ham, which was at the weekend. Yoro obviously injured his foot, but was limping as he left the stadium, but wasn't on crutches or protective boot. And he's obviously been doing. I just want to see if there's anything else in this. Johnny Evans took part in training. He scored against us this season, so I'm not going to knock him. Collier is probably supposedly back. And yeah, Dallo did individual work today. So, like I said, Dallo should be back. I don't really know. Manchester World 2 hours ago. Rich Fay. This was a guy who's reported this at 20-5. Manchester United hope to have Delict and Yoro both available when they face Tottenham next week. Delict's missed the last 2 games. They're not expected to travel to face Chelsea. Not surprising. But Amorim is hopeful they will play next week. Well, there you go. So there's a situation that they're going to get back 2 centre-backs for the game. And Dallo. So when they tell you, Man United got all these injuries, feel that sympathy. They're missing Xerxes and Martinez. We're missing Madison, Kulu, potentially Bergvall and Radu Dragic. We are still worse off than they are. Son won't be 100% fit either. I know Diallo might not be 100% fit either, but let's say they wash each other. We're worse off than they are injury-wise. Don't fall into this trap to the media telling you that Man United are riddled with injuries. They're not. They are not. Final team. Right, here we go. Ronnie gives me his final team. What do we think of Ronnie's one? Here we go. I'll read it out to you. Vic, Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Adogi. So far, Ronnie, I agree with you. Biss, Bentancur, Son, Richie, Solanke, Johnson. So Ronnie's going to go for a 4-4-2/4-2-4. I agree, Ronnie, that Johnson and Solanke will both start, as well as Biss, Bentancur. I don't think you're going to get Richie and Sonny both starting. I think you will get Tell. Tell's been good recently. Tell had a massive part to play in both Bodo Glimt goals. I've just had a missed call from someone. It's just come up on my Mac that I've missed a call from someone because I've got it on Do Not Disturb. They thought they could get me, couldn't they? I'm talking Spurs. Delete my crap. That's awful, Darth. That is awful. That's awful. It's got me laughing, but it is awful. They just tried to call me again. Who is this person? Who's this person trying to get hold of me? I'm trying to talk. I've been live for an hour. I'm trying to talk Spurs. It's Ange. You know what? It's Ange. Ange going, mate, I need you. I need you. I'll be there, Ange. I'll be there. Just book my flight. Find me a park bench to sleep on. I'll be there. I'll be there. My shin pads on that are about this big. None of these diddly ones. I'll have those big ones. The ankle guards on them as well. My studs are about this big. And someone's getting flattened 2 minutes into the game. I'll be too knackered to do anything else after that. You have to sub me off, but we will be ready for it. They won't recall Donnelly. They won't. Just thought for the Forest player. Yeah, a 1 year. A 1 year, obviously induced coma for the stomach issues. I think we hear more about him either tonight or tomorrow, don't they? So hopefully he is okay. Hopefully he comes out of the induced coma and he comes back to full fitness in his own time. He's got the summer break now to come back in his own time, and hopefully he's okay. Hope he's okay. Tells key player in the way leg, absolutely. It might have turned out different, mate. We would have drawn 0-0. Cruised it. It's Levy. Is it Daniel? Daniel? No idea who it is. They've never called me before, but I've got 2 missed calls. Look at me, all popular. All friend. Oh, literally, Darv goes all friend. I've just noticed. Tottenham losing the final. Hey, Dan Tag. It's an interesting name. We don't need a red card. You said that you still think we win. Could you give me your thoughts on how you see the game going? What the main tactics we're going to employ? I need to hear it just to calm down. All right. Right. Let's do this. I'll tell you how it's going to go down. By the way, join the Discord. Any Spurs fans, you're going to want to join. A lot of copium in there for us other Spurs fans. It's free to join. Join us in there. We talk Spurs every day. I'll tell you my thoughts, Sonny. Let's go with the idea that they play a midfield three of Bentancur and Sarr. Okay? It's serious, Boris. The lid's screwed on. Look. Nothing's coming out of it. The lid is screwed on, and we're Kamagoo. I've not seen Kamagoo in so long. How are you, my friends? How you been? No, Sonny, let me tell you the game's going to go. It's going to be nervous. I think it's going to be 0-0 at half time. That kind of nervous. If they play that sort of more solid midfield three, I don't think there's going to be a ton of chances created. I think somehow we make it to the 60th, 65th minute, still 0-0, like, or you know, we might be 1-0 up sort of thing, something like that, right? And then he just unlocks Pandora's box, opens it up. It's like Pokemon balls, like Pikachu, I choose you. He goes, Matisse Tell, I choose you. Heung-Min Son, I choose you. Andy from Inside Spurs, I don't choose you. Put that back in the box. He's awful, you know. But I do genuinely think he will stay solid. Like if we've not got the creative options, he will stay solid, and then he will unlock the box, and then those creative attacking players will come out and feature. I do think either Tell or Son starts, and then I think the other one comes on for them. Okay. I think Son will start, by the way. I think Son will start the final. And I think Tell may come on for him, 60th minute, and just let Tell run at their fullbacks from then on. I think Spurs will win 2-1. I said that all along. I have the right to change my views depending on when I do my preview, which will probably be next Monday. I think 2-1. I think Jono is definitely scoring. I'm thinking he's scoring because I did that video. I analysed all of... they've not called me again. I'm just having a look because other people have messaged me. Just in case it's one of them. No, that's fine. I've not got that many friends. God. I do think Jono will score. And I think Jono will get the first one as well. I've got a weird feeling Man United will equalise quite quickly afterwards. Stupid, deflected Bruno 25-yard hit. Maybe. Something ridiculous. You know, we seem to get screwed a lot by goals recently, and I think it'll be like that. And then I think Man United, if they sit back, will then take power again. If they then come on even further, the counter will be on. And Jono in space, and Sonny in space, and Big Dom, and all those things. I think Spurs might get a late on goal. And the limbs will be there. I won't do it how England fans do it. I won't throw him a pint. That Guinness, I'll go put that back on the table. Now I'll celebrate. The Guinness will be placed very nicely back onto the table. I pay enough for that as it is. I don't want to be ruining it. And I think that's what happened. But I think the game will be very, very tight. With Man United's 3-4-2-1, I do really much expect, you know, when we go down the left wing, obviously their wing back will most of the time be facing up with our winger when we're on the attack and they're having to drop a bit deeper. What we do with the underlap or the overlap is interesting. The idea is, I believe, though, to have some success, is the ball over the top, Slanky to pull a defender with him. Someone makes the dart into the gap left by that defender, though. So if it is Odegaard, if it is Son coming off the wing and going in there, playing the ball over the top and pulling defenders out of their position, I think is going to where we're going to have some success. I've told you crosses, I've told you low drivens have success, but I do think pulling the players out, because they have had costly mistakes this season, Man United, balls high up. And I think that's where we might have success. And I think it'll be a chess match. I don't think it's going to be sexy to watch. I don't think you're going to come into this game going, God, look at Spurs playing unreal football. I don't think you will. I really don't. That Bodo Glimt game, right? Barring that 20 seconds of their goal, we played a near enough perfect performance. I don't think you're going to see that kind of performance. Frankfurt, after going 1-0 down and we should have hit 4-5, I don't think you're going to see that kind of performance. I do really, really think you are going to see a cagey game. It's a final. They normally are. Callum reckons a 4-0. God, Jesus. Slanky and Poro MS. Love it. If we win, my year will be perfect. It will never change. It's my fan club calling me. I didn't know I had a fan club. It's Donna, isn't it? Donna's part of the fan club. The leader of my fan club. Are United a better team chasing game or holding on to a lead? Chasing. I think chasing. I don't think defensively they're sound enough. Like from what I've witnessed in the Champions League. I feel like chasing. They're quite a good side when they get a bit of momentum behind them. They are. Don't look at their league position, obviously, because I don't think they've truly cared enough about the league like us for a little while. When you watch them in the Cups this season, they knocked out Arsenal in the FA Cup. They're in the Europa League final. They knocked out Bilbao. They beat the other Basque team in Sociedad. I think they're better at chasing. When they get a bit of wind in their sails, they are a dangerous side. And give Bruno time. Bruno will whip in 10 crosses. 3 of them are absolute hooners. And you think, how the hell are you a professional footballer? You know, 4 of them you go, that was decent. He gave his attacker something to go for. And then there's that 1 or 2 that are unbelievable. And he puts them on an absolute sixpence. And how you deal with that is a problem. Bruno has that quality. He does. Romero, Johnson, Sonny, Richie. Love it, Callum. Steve told me 12-0. He's not here, but Steve has said 12-0. It's normally 5-0, but he's gone 12-0. Appreciate it, Darv, mate. You're the legend. You're the legend, Darv. You sat there and listened to this idiot waffle for over an hour. Bed's will have to step up regarding creativity with some good through balls in him. Yeah, deep line playmaking might be interesting. I think balls over the top. What you've witnessed recently in Romero especially, and Porro in the first leg against Bodo Glimt, balls over the top for runners. The only issue is I don't really see Pape being that guy to make that run in behind. Odebear, though. Smart little run from deep. Wilson Odebear's pace. Lucas Bergvall would make that run if he was fit. Could Odebear? It'll be a Jose contact. Yeah, look, I really don't think you're going to watch a sexy game of football, so please don't get your hopes up. Chasing because we saw the Carabao Cup. Yeah, they went 3-0 down. We gave them 2 goals and they were in the game again. And then Son went, I'm going to score from a corner. What are you going to do about it? The other thing as well, hit shots from distance. Anana will fumble or he'll parry a shot right into Jono's feet. He will. Bayindiz did it. We've seen this season the Europa League so many times, poor keeping when it comes to shot stopping from Man United's keepers, and they've parried shots into oncoming traffic, and it's worked. So that could be an answer as well, which does suit Pape. I would say it does suit Pape. I think Brendan finally gets a hat-trick. Or Paul. If Jono gets a hat-trick in the final, let's have a bet, Paul. Not money. Let's have a fun bet. Ignore that. That's a mosquito bite. That's brutal, by the way. Should have seen him. I've dealt with him. Now, if Jono scores a hat-trick in the final, I'll neck a drink or something. I'll do something on video for it to be a laugh. By the way, if we win that live stream, we ain't going to bed early. Well, I won't be going to bed early, all right? I'm getting on here and I'm going to speak with you lot for hours because we're going to talk about the fact that Spurs won a trophy for the first time in too long. Too long is the answer. Coutinho smear Ahmad across the deck to let him know what's what. Tell you what, that ball over the top there go, oh, I'm through. And Mickey van der Ven goes, hello, mate. I'm just going to grab that ball. I'm just going to go the other way with it. Cheers. See you in a bit. Mickey van der Ven masterclass in the final. We will be there. Ange used the same tactics in Europa, setting up traps for the counter-attacks, i.e. pretend they're head back to attack, but then hold and leave. Just, Jazz, that is an unreal shout, by the way. And I mentioned the setting of traps that we did to Bodo Glimt, where we set traps and we allowed them to have the ball at times and say, no, you can have the ball, not a problem. And they moved forward into areas where we thought we can get them. And we did. And we get the ball off for them, and then we're on their back line. And I think at times, that on next Wednesday, Ugarte and Casemiro are good on the ball, right? But Casemiro isn't exactly a sprinting athlete. I think if you put enough bodies on him, you might be able to nip a ball or two here and there, and then you're running at Harry Maguire, which good when it comes to heading the ball, 0 speed. Dom should have some opportunities against Harry Maguire, in my opinion, if we're smart about it. Do you reckon that we have the physical edge on Man United? No. Romero tarrying header for the first goal and a miscued screamer from Porro. We will be there, MS, mate. We'll be there. Also, for people, what I looked at a clip on Twitter today, Spurs training, like Maddison training with the first team. It wasn't Madders, it was Max Robson. Well, there you go. Expect to see Max Robson play against Aston Villa. 2-1 Spurs. Spurs 2-0 up, 80th minute exceed and holding on firm till the end. Would you know what you do? Holding on. Oh, can we hold on to this? Send the absolute unit on. Big Kev Dancer goes, I'll deal with these. Oh, you think you're going to win that header? Here comes Big Kev. Here comes Big Kev Dancer. Big Kev Dancer. You think you're going to run past me? Big Kev Dancer. I'll have a word with you. My centre back. I love Big Kev Dancer. I think he's a good centre back. He's not Romero. I get it. But how many Romeros are there? Because on that pitch next Wednesday, there's one Romero. All right, literally and figuratively. Mickey van der Ven. I like Mickey. I don't think he's Romero's level yet. When everyone's playing 10 out of 10, there is still a level between them. I think Mickey will get there, though. Absolutely. I just think Romero's really solid in the challenge. That's what separates them a little bit. But I think those two coming out there and leading the team. If John scores a hat-trick, I'll fly to London, have a beer or a squash shandy, whatever drink is you drink. By the way, squash is a soft drink. It's a soft drink. It's like you put water and squash, which is like flavoring, basically. All right. But I'll definitely do a beer. And then I'll do like 12 more after that. From Phoenix, Arizona. Oh, must be warm coming into the summer there. Jesus Christ, Paul. KD's going to get traded from the Phoenix Suns this year. He's definitely getting traded. Bill is holding that team hostage. Cardinals are going to be interesting this year. I think Cardinals are going to be interesting. Cardinals are going to be sneaky good. I don't know why. I believe in Kyler Murray. Maybe I shouldn't, but I believe in Kyler. Stupid of me, probably. But also Marvin Harrison, I think, is still going to be an absolute rock star. Give him time. But look, thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'm going to go walk my dog, and then I'm going to watch Real Madrid at 8:30 and enjoy that. Please, thank you. And please watch my video from earlier. You'll see how good our backline is. I'll be back tomorrow, lunchtime, just after lunchtime, something like that, to do the preview for Aston Villa. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone. You're absolute legends. And I'll speak to you all tomorrow to talk a lot more about Spurs. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Peace.